What is going on, guys? It's another beautiful day today. Welcome back to the Rambling Rider podcast. I totally don't know what number I'm on. Probably like 3 or 4. Already lost count. Anyways, today is Tuesday. Finally. It's been a whole week since I've really been able to post. Because I've been having some stupid technical problems with my cameras and a mix of just terrible weather that I didn't want to film in, so I rode in my car instead. Drove my car. Yeah, it's been a big mess of a week. Kind of getting pissed off a couple times, actually. Oh, it was a green arrow. Oh, there we go. Such a nice day. It's a little cool, but as you can see, I don't have my big fat blue jacket on. Yeah, so this is my riding jacket, the one that actually has armor in it and looks kind of incognito. So, I think I was talking about that last episode that actually was good. Last 1 or 2 episodes that I tried to film, they got screwed up with camera stopping automatically and stuff, complications like that. Apparently, I had a setting on, which I don't know why it even turned itself on. But it was a voice activation, which this camera has. Which apparently randomly decided to recognize me saying camera shut off or something. And I better freaking make sure that didn't trigger it again. No, it looks like it's still going. Anyways, yeah, I kept having problems like that. And so yeah, I kind of had to stop for a week. I think I'll post it on this channel, but I did an edit with me and my brother skiing at Mount Hood. Obviously, I'm wearing the same blue jacket actually, and so you guys might see that before this video. Maybe after, I'm not sure yet. I've posted it on my personal account so I could share it with some family, but that's about it. Let's see here. So yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in my life. It's just going to work and failing vlogging or podcasting, whatever you want to call this. Ooh, that's a cool car. Anyways, feels nice today though. It's so lovely that this clear patch in the weather has come through. Oh, I love it. Today, I guess we got to figure out what we're going to talk about. I guess I could talk about what I've been looking into recently, which is, oh god, thanks fan. Which is, I might be getting a new vehicle. Obviously, you guys really haven't seen my other vehicle, which is a boring, I think I mentioned it, a Subaru Forester. That was a kind of an extremely good deal. It was free to me, so that's the only reason I actually have it. It wouldn't be a vehicle I choose. But you know, I'm not going to pass up free. I might eventually actually sell it and make some money off of it. love it when you get on a road and there's no one in front of you, so you can stretch the legs a little bit. Actually, this weekend I did a oil change on this motorcycle, first time since I've owned it, which I probably should have done a little bit sooner. I've had it since September, and now it's getting towards the end of January. But nah, yeah, see, like this, stuck behind someone. Little white Subaru. Yeah, so my car is similar to that one in front of me, actually, except it's red, and I think it's an older model. That one looks a little bit newer, or maybe it's just that they keep it clean or something. I don't know. I really don't care for that Subaru that much. It's been nice to, have a different vehicle, I guess. Oh, why are you slowing down? Oh, biker, I see. Well, now you're really slow. Okay. But yeah, that Subaru it's like, before I had a Toyota Tundra. I think I talked about that before. But this, the Subaru is all right, and like, it's much better on MPG, don't get me wrong. That's a good benefit. It's been like a cheap car to have, apart from the fact that I actually need new tires. Hey, sport bike dude, nice. And I really don't want to put money into this car, because it's just going to be like, if I buy new tires, I'm going to be selling this car soon anyways, or I'd rather just sell the thing than to put money into it and then get something I actually want. So that's what I've been thinking about lately. I hate that bikers just don't follow road rules. I just went right through that stop sign. Come on. If you're gonna be on the road, you gotta follow the rules of the road. I don't mind you being on the road, just, you gotta follow the laws. Come on. It's dumb. Anyways. So the vehicle I've been looking at, it's I was thinking for a while I want to get another truck, and I wanted to get into diesels, a diesel truck or something like a Duramax would be pretty sweet. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, I've had a truck before and it was fine for what I did with it. There could have been a lot better vehicle for what I want to do with my vehicles, which is essentially overlanding, and I would love to get into off-roading. So a truck could serve maybe as an overlander, but it wouldn't be great for off-roading, just because there's such too long of a wheelbase, and it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Wish I wasn't stuck behind the Subaru, but whatever. Yeah, so the more I thought about it, I was like, well, I've had a truck before, why don't I try something new? Which I was, like, when I initially got the Subaru, I was kind of excited, because, like, yeah, it's something new, just something different. But then I almost immediately learned that, like, no, that's not the kind of car I want. It's too small for me, and it was just, it didn't feel at all fun. Like, even my truck, even though it was a truck in two-wheel drive, it wasn't fast. It was much slower than the Subaru, but for whatever reason, it just felt almost kind of fun. Whoa, that's a nice patch. I almost slipped out there. I gotta watch for that in the future. Stays in the shade there, I guess. But the truck, for whatever reason, was always kind of felt more enjoyable to drive. And I don't know if that's just because it was a Toyota, And, you know, normally you think of a Toyota as boring cars, but that Tundra, with just the right kinds of modifications I put on it, I put a leveling kit on it, just which raised the front up, was it like 1.5 inches or 2 inches? And it made it level with the rear, so it didn't look like it was a nose down thing like they do from the factory, because they're expecting you to always be towing or having cargo in the bed. So it's like, oh, we're gonna make it look level when it's loaded, but I never had it loaded that often, so it looked dumb. So I basically did a leveling kit on it, which just kind of puts just hockey puck type things in between the top of the coilover. So it worked fine. They were just basically a aluminum block, sort of. They're a pretty cheap mod, and if you do the work yourself, it works just fine. You gotta have some specialty tools to compress the coilovers, though. Now it's kind of a bit of a hassle. So yeah, there's that. Hey, look, a cow. Or a few cows up there. I never noticed them up there. Huh. Now we're stuck behind an even slower vehicle up there. Wow. So yeah, I did that, and there was, let's see, what's some of the other things? Oh, I cut off the muffler, actually. I didn't cut it off, it unbolts. There is I want to call it a V-band clamp, except it's not a V-band. It was something similar from factory that's between the muffler and the catalytic converters, and you could just unbolt the rear end of the exhaust and it sounded pretty good. So that's one thing that made it a little bit more fun. And it was just a reliable car. I never had to deal with anything. So, but the Subaru, like, I bet I could mod it to be fun, but I don't think it's the right platform to do it, to put money into. So I've been thinking, like, I wanted the truck, I wanted to get into diesels, except then I decided, let's try something other than a truck. I've always kind of wanted a Jeep, except I don't want a Jeep specifically. I want something like a Jeep. So I was looking around, and like, maybe 4Runners would be cool. Like a Toyota 4Runner. And those look fine. They're essentially, if you don't know, I always think of, the Toyota has these two sets of vehicles. Like, they have their two trucks, the Tundra and the Tacoma, and then they have two sets of their SUVs, you call it, the 4Runner and the Sequoia. And essentially a 4Runner and a Tacoma, or almost like the front half of it is the same. Like, you can get the Haynes manual that's for both those vehicles. There's only like some differences if you're ever working on something like a rear tail light or something like that. But there's not a whole lot of differences. And same with the Tundra and Sequoia. The Haynes manual I had for my Tundra also served the same year Sequoias, or almost same year. Oh, that's a cool Scout. Driven by a lady. Yes, they're turning right. No, there's a Tacoma. It looks cool, though. Maybe I can admire some of its gear. Biker coming. So essentially, if I did get something like a 4Runner, I mean, I think they look alright, but for some reason they just don't look very off-road oriented, for whatever reason. Like, you have to put a lot of mods on it to make it off-road worthy, or not worthy, but just like, you know, you have to put diff locks on it, and you gotta... Why is this guy halfway in the lane? What the heck's going on? And you'd have to, I don't want to say you have to put a lot of work into it, But it was just like, still wouldn't feel fully like the vehicle I want to put money into to make it more off-road-y. Like there are definitely, like, Jeep Wranglers are definitely more built for being able to go off-road from factory. One of the coolest vehicles that I would actually want would be like the new Ford Bronco two-door, but those are brand new and I don't have that kind of money, and they're also Ford. You know, I value my reliability, so I mean, Ford has definitely gotten better over the years. My dad actually had two Ford Broncos back when he was a lot younger, and he essentially, both of them caught fire and blew up. One of them is understandable because there was a drunk driver coming down. He was going out to Barstow from Southern California, and some drunk guy going the wrong way down the freeway hit him head on. So thankfully he's like totally fine, but yeah, that one blew up, or caught fire and then blew up. And then the other one, he had another Bronco. He was towing a boat to Lake Mead. Is it Lake Mead or Lake Powell? I think it was Lake Mead. And we got all the way there. This guy's slowing down and turning. And in the hotel parking lot, after about an hour or something, it just caught fire. Just in the parking lot. So it burnt to the ground. I think our boat was fine. I don't remember. Because I wasn't old enough to I barely remember it, or actually I don't remember it because I just remember the stories of it. I don't remember if that was actually when I was alive yet or not. I think I was, but I was like a baby. Anyways, so in my family, Ford's kind of got a bad rap, but I know they've gotten a lot better lately, but they're still not like up to par with like Toyota. Or even like Subaru. Subarus are pretty reliable too. So I wasn't gonna go with a Ford Bronco. Not yet. Maybe one day in my life I'll just try them out, but who knows. Anyways, I kept looking around. I was like, what other vehicles? I looked on a list, one of those listicles of like good off-road vehicles, which seems kind of dumb to look up. It's like, obviously, yeah, there's Jeep Wranglers, 4Runner was on there, Broncos, I think Blazers were on there. And another thing I wanted was, I didn't want the thing to be so old, like an old Bronco or an old Blazer, that it felt like I was just in a tank or something, or like a, you know, just a metal box like a lot of those old ones feel like. And there's some shadowy corners here that have some wet spots I'm trying to avoid. And then finally one came up and I was like, oh my god, this is like the perfect fit. Why didn't I think of this? And it's a Toyota FJ Cruiser. So yeah, sorry, I was doing with those bikers, which were being kind of dumb. So yeah, I was thinking like an FJ Cruiser, that's like, it's a Toyota, so it's reliable, it's built for off-road, it comes with factory diff locks, In the rear, I should say, a diff lock. And it's just like, it's built for off-road. The only maybe downside or major downside that I see is it's a V6 gas engine, so it might be a little underpowered. But I've seen people put like superchargers on them. There's even ones that come supercharged from the factory if you get the right spec. They don't make them anymore, so I have to buy used essentially. Oh shit. That was a dumb move. That car kind of came out of nowhere. Okay. I was kind of unsure what that other car was doing, sitting across the road from me. They didn't have blinkers on and they were just sitting there. Maybe they saw that other car coming. That I didn't, because it was blind corner, sort of. So basically, yeah, I was looking at this thing and it's like, this could totally be like the perfect base vehicle to put mods into and to upgrade. And so I started looking around, and even used ones aren't that cheap, which means to me they hold their value, which means like they're, I don't want to say they're collector's things, but they're starting to slowly head that way, which means they probably are reliable and just good vehicles if they hold their value. I guess the second downside, if I want to be a serious off-roader with it, would be that it's all independent suspension, which you can upgrade, and I might obviously want to upgrade that. So yeah, there's independent suspension, which you have to deal with CV axles and obviously the whole geometry behind the independent suspension. But I've seen kits and people like swear by it, of their like upgraded kits for the independent suspension for these things. And I mean, you look at them and they look super beefy, so it's like, I don't think you're going to be breaking that before you break or tweak the frame or something. And then the second thing you have to worry about is like the axles, or the other thing is the axles, and that you can get those RCV axles, which are known to be super strong, pretty much as strong as just a normal U-joint, like at the joints I should say. And well, you can make the axle, the straight solid part of it, really strong by making it real thick. They're not cheap mods, that's for sure, but they're available. Like down the line, if I want to upgrade to something better, I totally can. So yeah, I've been thinking about it all weekend, essentially, as I was just looking into it and kind of seeing like the pros and cons of it. And there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of cons, other than that they're not really great on gas mileage. They're not super powerful, but they're good enough for what they are. And I guess there's some visibility issues, because the way they designed, if you ever look at one, yellow light. If you ever look at one, they have like they're almost a two-door design, except they do have the suicide doors that you have to open the front door in order to access the rear doors. So they're like a half rear door. They're kind of small. But because there's no B-pillar exactly between the front row and the back row passengers, they had to super beef up the I guess you'd still call it the B-pillar, but it's back where the passengers are, or the second row. It's like it's super thick, so they had to get it real wide, so it causes some blind spots problems. And I've also heard that because their hood is just like straight out, they have some visibility problems for like how far is my hood. And so like, yeah, there's been reports of like some people that just kind of hit things because they don't know where the front of their car is, which is kind of dumb, but I don't know. But like those downsides, I feel like I can deal with those, right? Like, let's get through this intersection. So yeah, I'm really looking into this FJ40, or not FJ40, FJ Cruiser. FJ40 is a different dream build vehicle I want. But yeah, the FJ Cruiser, it finally popped out at me. I'm like, oh my god, that's exactly what I want. So I really hope I can find one for a reasonable price, which is going to be tricky because, you know, like I said, they hold their value. But I have found one online. The only problem is, before I can buy it, I'd have to essentially I'd have to sell my Subaru first, which means I'd only have this motorcycle, and I might be able to borrow like one of my other grandparents' cars. Welcome back, or rather, I should just say hello again, because for you guys it's been a second. For me, it's been like all day. It feels like, holy crap, today felt long. Oh man, I gotta tell you guys, it's real cold right now. Weather right before I left just now said it was 31 degrees right now, just below freezing. So I hope there weren't any roads that were too wet. So I'm gonna see if I can just take everything kind of light today, or slow, I should say. Try not to make hard turns or anything like that. Oh yeah, and you can kind of tell that my bike's not completely warmed up. Well, I don't know, you probably won't be able to tell, but it almost when it gets up, when it's too cold, and you know, I've just started the engine, you know, I'm riding, and you can kind of tell when you get to a little bit like the top of a gear, it starts to almost putter out, almost like it's gonna stall, or like it's low, or almost like it's starting to get low on gas or something.
And of course the battery died here on the camera, so sorry about that. This is going to be the end of this video. Thanks for listening or watching or whatever, and we're just going to sort through all these audio technical whatever problems. Anyways, see ya. Ciao.